everybody, I'm Ashley. I'm a Nifty producer and I host and produce a show called Spacelift where I make over people's spaces based on their social media accounts. It's all about bringing the cool stuff you see online into the real world and just awesome room transformations. I'm designing these rooms, I'm doing detective work on these people's digital footprint and finding out everything I can about them and seeing what they like, what their lifestyles are, and trying to create spaces that represent them and are beautiful and functional.
This is my first apartment, so I didn't do like the best job decorating and putting things together, but the potential's there because the space is so good. I just need some help.
This was actually one of my favorite makeovers I've ever done because it was at my friend's Tara's house, and it's funny because we didn't spend any money. It was all about working with all the things that Tara already owned just to make it more functional and the room to flow better than it was originally.
There are really three main components to making a $0 makeover work. It's moving stuff, organizing stuff, and decorating.
Some things we did was like repositioning the bed into a spot that was more conducive to more floor space and more window lighting.
There's about 37,000 hair ties under this bed and 2 socks.
Also, it's like never good to have a headboard near a window. It's just not good vibes. So we switched our bed around and we put it against this main wall, really making it the centerpiece of the room, creating some symmetry and also creating a little bit of division of space. So that was like the first big move we did.
I think my biggest fix for this would be just getting better lighting near my vanity.
From there, we moved other things like her vanity. I always like to put a vanity near the window so you can see natural light and avoid stepping out and being like, what foundation color do I have on my face? Because this is not my skin tone, which I always do if I'm using like fluorescent lighting or something. So having your vanity by the window will help you out with that. Also thinking about where the closet is placed in a room is a big deciding factor on the best way to arrange the space. We gave her like a little dressing station near her closet because let's be real, wherever your closet is, eventually is going to be a pile of clothes at some point in the week, in the month, when you're just trying to find an outfit and you're throwing clothes everywhere. So we gave her a designated spot to do that, and I think it turned out pretty cute. She had this ottoman that wasn't the cutest thing ever. All I did was drape a throw blanket over it and boom, totally transformed the, I don't want to say ugly ottoman, but not so cute ottoman.
Since we've worked so hard, I think we should treat ourselves to a prank call for Tara.
Yes.
Okay. I need to get my phone. What should I tell her? Do you know how to turn your water off? Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, ready?
Hello.
Hey,
Wait, hold on.
oh, okay, hey, do you know how to turn off your water? Your, like the under the sink?
Why is it flooding?
Yes.
Yeah. We
I
couldn't
don't
get the dishwasher
We
on?
couldn't get the dishwasher to shut off, and I was pressing all the buttons, and now there's water everywhere. Oh God, I think it's going through the floor.
No. Like, is the doorman coming? Did you call down?
Yeah, he's coming.
Oh my God.
With you.
Are you serious? That's not funny. I was about to cry. I was like, what happened? Oh my God. I literally almost threw up. I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Reactions are my favorite part of the video. They're also the most nerve-wracking part of the video because none of the people who receive these makeovers are actors. So if they don't like it, like it's on their face. It's just really fun getting to play around with your friends' spaces. I was really thankful for that, and Tara was like super on board with all the tips and tricks. I don't think Tara would have rearranged her room if I hadn't been like, I want to make this video. I want to do it in your space. Can we make it happen?
Ready?
I'm nervous.
Here we go.
I see light.
I see light.
Wait. Oh my God. Wait, it's so fucking clean, first of all. Oh, and I love these posters that were sitting in the corner of my room for so long. Wait, this looks amazing. Ashley, what?
This is not gonna be like a move that bus extreme makeover or anything, but it's just gonna be a couple of DIYs and rearranging and redecorating to show how you can really transform a space even if you just give it a little tiny bit of love.
This was one of the toughest makeovers we did, even though it was such a small space. This was the first full makeover that I had ever done. Before this, I was just doing Nifty Facebook videos, and I knew, I was like, I want to compile all these really cool Nifty projects into one awesome total apartment makeover and make a YouTube video out of it. So I was like, please let me do it, please let me do it. And thankfully I had very nice people supporting me, and we're like, okay, okay, do it. It was very difficult. You just don't realize how many elements go into making over even a studio apartment. I was doing some like big builds for that. So building those ottomans and building the desk dining table. There were really big, intense builds involved in this makeover. So it was definitely one of the more labor intensive ones. I was like at 3 o'clock in the morning sawing a little bookshelf to make a play castle for her cat Reese, who I also love. It was crazy, but it was totally worth it. When I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, Spacelift has come a long way from that first video. Even just the graphics alone have really improved. I really like looking back at this video because that was kind of what started everything.
Here we have my couch. It's really a day bed. It's pretty ideal because it's also a trundle bed. You know, I have visitors every other weekend or so, and Ashley actually spends a lot of time on that trundle, I will say.
In the video, we mentioned this, but this is all very true. Like, I would always crash at Merle's. At the time, I was working here at BuzzFeed, and I was living really far away at my parents' house, and I was like commuting hours to get to work, but I loved this job and I wanted to do it. And I would always crash at Merle's place. She has that trundle bed. I would always be on there. So I knew this space very well, and I was like, I want to make this space awesome for Merle. It's a space that she is always so welcoming to me. I always crash there, and I knew this was a really welcoming space, and I wanted to function that way too. Giving her this makeover was really exciting, and I don't know, it's always nice to do something for a friend. It is 3 o'clock on Thursday. Merle will be back in the apartment at 3 o'clock on Friday, which means that I have 24 hours here to transform this into the DIY oasis I've dreamed up in my head. For a lot of people my age and all of my friends' ages, you know, mid-20s, whether you're living in a big city or not, like, you're probably renting, right? And it's really easy to fall into a trap of like, oh, this is a rental, I don't own it, like, why invest in it? But I do not approve of that attitude, because wherever you're living, you are spending time there, and that is your home. Making it feel that way is so important, and I really, really do believe it will transform your mindset if you have a place that you love and are inspired by to come home to every day. I hope with these videos I'm showing people that it doesn't take that much time, it doesn't take that much money, and it doesn't take that much crazy skill sets to really make a place feel like home and have it represent you and be welcoming to all your family and friends. There's 4 main projects and DIYs that I'm going to be doing. The first is a coffee table storage seat. It's basically a big cube that has 3 functions: a table, a seat, and storage. The second is a convertible desk / dining table. Number 3 is a hanging plant room divider. I'm basically gonna take an old clothing rack and hang some hanging plants on it. That way Merle can use it as a room divider when she wants. The last project is actually not for Merle, it is for Reese. Basically, I'm going to take those cube shelves that Merle wanted to throw away. I'm gonna take one of them and upcycle it into a little cat castle for Queen Reese. The reason there were so many DIYs and big builds is because we had a tight budget for this makeover. It was $400, and that just meant I was gonna have to make a lot of stuff. I was like, okay, we need to do like 6 DIYs in this one video, whereas usually it's just like 1 video, 1 DIY. But that's what we had to do to get it done for under $400. And I'm so glad we did, because then we had custom pieces and that are like more unique, more functional, and more customized than if we had just bought expensive things and like had an unlimited budget.
Oh my God, where the f am I? God, Ashley, where's my bed? Holy.
I really am so passionate about helping people invest in their spaces and turning them into homes, and not just apartments and not just rentals and not just a place where you put your stuff, because you're spending so much time there and it can seem daunting and it can seem expensive and it can seem like I can't get it to be exactly what I want it to be, so I might as well not invest in it at all. Which is like, oh, I hate that attitude. It shouldn't be like that at all. There's little affordable things that you can do to transform any space and to make it feel like home. This video was unique in 2 ways. One, it was the biggest makeover we've ever done in terms of just like visual transformation. It was the most drastic difference. But also, this is the first time I was doing a kid's room. That was super exciting to me, probably because I am still sort of a child. But on the other hand, this was the most mature kid I've ever met in my life. He was so wise. Everyone in the comments pointed that out. They're like, this kid has more wisdom than like most 40-year-olds that I know. That was really awesome. And then also there was his very, very sweet sister Imogen who nominated Fabian.
Hey Ashley, I'm Imogen and I want to nominate my brother Fabian for a room makeover. He has the biggest, brightest personality and he expresses it a lot in his social media accounts. But his room in real life doesn't represent him at all. I think Fabian deserves this makeover because we move around a lot. We were living in a house before this that was a few blocks away, but we got evicted. So I feel like this is the first time that we're really settled and it feels like home. And I think his room should feel that way too.
This particular post that I got tagged in stood out to me because she's 15. At 15 was I thinking like, let me give this really cool makeover to my brother instead of saving it for myself. I definitely wasn't thinking that way when I was 15, I will admit. So I was really taken aback by how sweet she was and how really nice their relationship is. So I was like, done and done, I'm coming over. Fabian's getting a makeover. It's cool to work with a younger subject because I think like more things go. You can be crazier and funkier and like you can have more bold colors. Not that you can't as an adult. For the most part, kids are more open to more bold style decisions. And Fabian definitely was. It was also unique in that he didn't have a big social media presence. Like, he's 11, so you know, it would be weird if he did have a gigantic social media presence. It was a very small case study to work with, his digital footprint, but it still told me so much about him. And that was a case where I wasn't so much looking at the aesthetic of his Pinterest and of his Instagram. I was really looking at his lifestyle and people he was inspired by to determine how to design the room. That was some ways that this one was unique. It was one of my favorites. The transformation was so drastic and he was just the sweetest. They both were. Imogen and Fabian were definitely the cutest subjects we've ever had on Spacelift.
I feel like this space will also cultivate more hobbies and more things that maybe I will get inspired by this space rather than being inspired elsewhere and bring it into the space.
I am so obsessed and thankful for my job. It's like the most unique opportunity ever. I get to do things that I love, like DIY projects and designing. Then I also get to meet all of these awesome people and give them something that hopefully actually improves their day-to-day life. So it's gratifying, it's fun, and I am super inspired by every new submission that I get and every new post that I get tagged in. So I am just like so jazzed to be doing what I'm doing, really. It's such a weird, unique job, and I am excited to see where it goes from here.
I super love this rubber band ball.
Your rubber band ball that you made. I do all this in your room. And the two things you say that you love are your own. Okay, that's it. The wallpaper's coming down.
I went to college for journalism, which seems disconnected from what I'm doing now, but it's really not, because I think all of that storytelling experience has translated into the videos I'm making now, because at the end of the day, this is like a story that I want to tell people. It's like, okay, look at this person's space, look at how they're living their life, and look at how we can improve that, and what's important to them, and who they are, and how we can make a space best represent them. So my journalism background gave me that storytelling ability, and then in terms of the crafty stuff, the design, the DIYing, that was all just stuff I love to do as a hobby. So I was always making stuff ever since I was a kid. I was actually, weirdly enough, would really sketch out rooms when I was like 8 years old. My grandma would let me rearrange her living room in all different ways, and I would like sketch out how she should decorate for Christmas, or how she should decorate if she was having a dinner party, like as if she was having dinner parties. I was always encouraged in the artistic world, and I always really loved doing anything crafty, anything involving color. And so that sort of added up to this like totally weird but perfect for me job that I have today.
I hope this is the first part of bringing that awesome online persona to real life, and that you have so much fun in your new room.
I'm so excited to just keep meeting all these unique people with awesome stories and actually genuinely getting relationships out of this experience and learning new skills, and also just like being in someone's home is such an intimate experience, especially someone who you don't know before this whole makeover is happening. These people are letting me into their homes, they're letting me see all the stuff that they've dreamed about, that they've posted, that they want to turn into realities, and I'm like really touched that people trust me with that information and with their spaces. And I think by the end of these makeovers, I've really formed a connection that I wouldn't have otherwise with these people. And I mostly love when I get to stay in touch with everybody and like see how the space has continued to function for them. So yes, I love designing and I love transforming spaces, but more importantly, I love people, and I'm so thankful that I get to do what I do and meet so many amazing folks that, and I is it? I can't say it. I like do say folks all the time, and then I realize I sound like a literal 8-year-old woman in South Carolina.